To start us off, we're going to talk about what you should include on your resume. First things first, name and basic information, specifically your contact information, your email address, as well as your cell phone number. Next, we're going to talk about your objective. What are you looking for in a career? How are you going to give back to that career? Next, education and training. What degrees do you have? And if you don't have a degree, what degree are you working on? When is your expected graduation date? Next, core competencies. You're going to want to talk about your skills that you have. Maybe you are a professional. Maybe you have strong communication skills, excellent time management skills. Next, volunteer experience. This is somewhere where you really are going to stand out because some people might have the qualifications, but they don't have the volunteer experience to tie into what they're doing outside of their studies. Next is work experience. This can be formal or informal. Formal meaning I worked at T-Mobile for 3 years. Informal meaning I did an internship at a elementary school near me. And lastly is your awards and honors, anything that you've gotten. And remember to put this in order from most recent to oldest. Okay, now we're going to focus on how to lay all that information out on paper. So you're going to have your name in a bigger font, and this is really supposed to draw the HR manager or whoever's reading your application's attention. Because especially if this job is really, really popular, they're going to be looking at sometimes hundreds of these at one time, especially if you go to a job fair or something like that. So you're going to want to stand out. You're going to want something to remember you. And by having your name bold, that's the piece that you're going to want to remember. Next, you're going to put your objective, education, volunteer, previous employment. Do not do any crazy fonts. Times New Roman is the best one for you to do. It's pretty basic, but if not, let Calibri. You want 12 font for like your body writing. So for most of them, your headlines or like anything kind of, sectioning off your headers or anything like that, those can be a little bit bigger, but not too much. You want to put a reference list on a separate document and make your resume engaging, make it stand out. And do not forget to update this every 3 to 4 months with recent information, just so that it is always readily available if there's a new opportunity that requires this, because this is not just for jobs. Scholarship applications will ask you for your resume. Some volunteer opportunities will. So just really take advantage of this as a resource by updating it often. Okay, now we're just going to take a look at some things that can help you better understand the setup. Okay, first, think about the job description. What are they looking for? Understand what they're looking for before you even start looking at your resume and updating it for a specific job. Do you even meet the requirements? What type of employee are they looking for? Are they looking for a team player? Think about the job itself. If it's customer service related, you're going to want skills that go along the lines of working with others and being professional and being a problem solver. So keep all of those things in mind. Next, please put in some type of volunteer experience. People want to know what you're doing out in the community. Just being a good scholar or being strong academically sometimes is not going to be enough to help you stand out against other applicants. Be honest. Do not over exaggerate your skills and abilities, because once you actually get to the job, they're going to expect you to have things that are along those lines. And be prepared to discuss or explain the experiences that you have. So anything that you talked about, if you mentioned an internship, if you mentioned a previous job that you've had, be ready to talk about those. And also be sure that the information that you are putting down, whether it's your education, whether it's your work experience, whether it's volunteer, no matter what, Reverse chronological order. Start with what is most recent and work backwards. So here I've included 2 resumes for us to take a look at and discuss. So we're going to start with the one on the left with Mr. Hamdugo. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and start off, if you don't already know this. This is an example of what not to do for several reasons, but the biggest one being this just does not look professional, okay? And I'm going to break this down for you guys. When we're taking a look at this here, first off, there's no need for a profile picture or picture of yourself for any reason at all. And for him to put in like his profile, this, I don't think that he should have put that word right there. It just doesn't give the type of formality that a resume needs. Next, this email that he provided, it does not look professional. And this is what I talked about earlier. When you include an email, make sure that it's not your very, very personal email. Get a separate email just for school and work opportunities so that your email isn't something that's ridiculous. Next, do not include your hobbies. That's unnecessary. This little animation here, absolutely unnecessary. Now, we're going to take a look at his work experience here. Now he says that in this first one, he says help like 50 customers per day. No. Just say helped roughly 50 customers a day. Do not insert like. That has no business being on a resume. As a matter of fact, in any formal document, period. And down here with the skills, look at the middle one here. What is that even supposed to mean? Keeping it cool, that's not a skill, for one. For two, you should not rank your skills like that. Just throw them out there, because when they get to know you as through your interview or when they hire you, they're going to know what skills are your strongest and which ones you're a little weaker on. You do not need to start out by telling them that. Now, when we take a look at Miss Lynch's resume, look at this one in comparison to the other one, okay? First off, this one is just a lot better organization-wise. Everything is definitely in one piece. We have formal language here. She includes her objective and not a profile. She has her personal information up at the top. She has her experiences, and she also has her skills. And even though this isn't the exact same order that I gave to you guys earlier, it still checks all of the boxes. And notice how she's not ranking her skills. She's not saying, okay, I'm 30% efficient on this, 20% efficient on that. That's not what they're looking for, because at the end of the day, you're either proficient or you're not. You either have the skill or you don't. Even if you have it a little bit, you still have the skill. And also with the additional activities, so some of this is what I would consider volunteer work. So instead of putting the additional activities, she could have put in volunteer experience there. But overall, this is a lot better in structure. This helps us get a better picture of who she is. But not only that, this helps us look at her as a professional, which is how you really want people to view you. You want them to have a picture of you before they meet you in person for an interview, if it even gets to that point. However, if your resume is looking more along the lines of the one on the left, I cannot guarantee that you're going to be considered for an interview. So please create one that has an air of professionalism and helps them have an idea of what you've done so that they can kind of think, okay, how could this correlate to the company? How could this person benefit our company?